qualify for government scholarship or not. So if you select any of the 40 public universities, or if not the case for universities, the TVET institutions, any of the 250 plus TVET, public TVET institutions, these are national polytechnics, institutes of science and technology, technical and vocational colleges, you indeed qualify for government scholarship. Please allow candidates who did exams in previous years to apply for degrees too. Many deserving cases are left behind because of many reasons, including lack of the 1,500 registration fees. If you did KCSE in those previous years, and for whatever reason you did not apply, please check this email address and just write exactly that. Write to info@kuccps.ac.ke and make the reference that you are a previous KCSE person, and for whatever reason you did not apply during your cohort, and indicate your KCSE year, your KCSE index number, and excuse me, telephone number. We will get in touch with you and we will assist you with that. Is the online career book free? Yes, career information is displayed on our website. Once you get to the Kuccps website, you will be able to benefit from the resources that are available. And like the CEO had also said, even for those who are interested in buying, you can visit any of the bookshops near you, or any of the Huduma centers near you. You'll be able to acquire a copy. When are the application results likely to be out? We already discussed that. Good morning. The students who join TTC for diploma in primary teacher education qualify for scholarships. As of now, no, because the government is put a cap of the fees, the minimum fees or the maximum fees that they should charge for students. So the fees that they are currently charging are already subsidized and determined by the government. When do we get notified of our placement of our placed institutions? That sounds like a question from an applicant. Now that you have submitted your application, at the end of the application period, we will process the application and we'll get in touch with you on the result of that application through the SMS, through an SMS on the 2 telephone numbers that you provided during the application period. So we will get in touch with you if and when there is anything that is required of you to do with regard to that application. We will get in touch with you. And of course, eventually, when we announce the placement results to the public, it will be a public ceremony, a public event for which you will be able to see. Can one apply a combination of degree and diploma courses? Yes, you can. You can apply for degree and also apply for diplomas. Good morning. I paid for the application fee after I completed my application, but I did not get the confirmation message from eCitizen. Please, I would like to request that you give us more details about you, telephone number and everything. We will get in touch with you individually and assist you so that you're not locked out of the placement period. Good morning. Students who opted to do bridging in a certain subject, will they be able to apply through Kuccps next year after completing the bridging session? And there are students who did a bridging in a particular subject, and we get the results of the bridged course from NEC, the Kenya National Examinations Council, which again is input into your portal. And for KMTC, the students are able to apply. The next question is, can I shift courses after placement? Yes, after you have been placed, there is a period known as a transfer period where you can choose to transfer from the institution where you have been placed to another institution in the same program or a different program. It is called inter-institution transfer. And again, there is also the interfaculty or interschool transfer, where after you have been placed in a university, you can opt to again transfer from the program you have been placed into another program, provided that you meet the minimum cutoffs, or we are within the cutoff for that program. I can see Jared Collar, late application name and so on. Please put this information in the email that I've just given, but of course we'll also capture it, the info@kuccps.ac.ke.
Okay, you can take some water, Prof. I can continue.
Please, CEO.
Okay, there are more questions around whether we will have another revision exercise. Yes, that was just the first application exercise. So we will run the simulations for those who have applied. Then once we simulate, there is the first round that people will get placed. Now, for any reason you have not applied, you will still have an opportunity to apply. But also, the first revision allows those who had applied for a course, and because of the number of people who have applied, remember I explained if the class has 100 people, allows 100, and 2,000 have applied. Once we take the 100, the 1,900 would have an opportunity in the first revision to choose another program. So the revision exercise happens for two reasons: to allow those who had not made an application at all, but also to apply those for those who had not secured space to change into the course that they would wish. But also at that point, we pull down all the programs that have filled up. So when we open for first revision, you may find there are programs that are not there now. So the most important is to apply during the first round so that you are not getting into, trying to choose programs that are already pulled down. There are a lot of questions around HELB funding and scholarships. I wish that we leave that because in the next webinar, we will invite the CEO HELB to talk about the funding part of it. But just to assure you that HELB is still there available for students. Scholarships, the government is still continuing to give scholarships to students who make applications to public universities. For private universities, they are eligible for HELB only. And there is a process to determine the level of funding in terms of scholarship for the students. So just hold all your questions around funding so that in the next webinar we can have Mr. Geoffrey Monari answering to those. So will you still open another window? I think I have said that for applications, we have said that. But remember, by September, all the students should have settled. We will even open an opportunity for transfers for whatever program you will have been placed. You feel you need to make a transfer. We will give you enough time. For courses that were pulled down, how many are they so far? Which courses? We have not pulled down any. I said at the point when they fill, that is when we will pull them down. But for KMTC, you can see we've already pulled out nursing, clinical medicine, pharmacy, is because all those filled up. And the next time they will be available for the September class. Good morning. Is it a must for one to apply in a cyber? The answer is no. You can use a smartphone if you have one. You can use a tablet. You can use a desktop. You can go to any Huduma centers. Cybers are just there as businesses for convenience, but we have trained people who are running cybers in Huduma centers. That is where you can have guarantee that our services are offered to the best of our ability by going to a cyber that is within a Huduma center. Good morning. Can I still do a course when I am below the cutoff points? If the cutoff points are just for competition, it doesn't mean you don't qualify. You can do the same program if you go to that institution and they have vacancies for self-sponsored students. You would have to be a self-sponsored student if you are below the cutoffs for the Kuccps placement. Please give us more information on inter-faculty, inter-institutional transfer after placement. Now, once you have been placed and you have been admitted to a university, if you report to that university and you realize probably there is another program that you may not have known about, that you would want to change to, that is when you do an inter-institution transfer. You remain within the same institution that you were placed, but you pick a different program. That's inter-faculty transfer, where you are just moving from one faculty to another, for example, from education to communication. Inter-institutional transfer is when now you move from University of Nairobi to Maseno University. All these are possible, and we encourage students to do that within the very first semester so that you settle down after that. So for the inter-institution transfer, we open the system and the process is done within the system. You don't have to go physically from one university to the other. I noticed that in the Apply tab of Kuccps portal, the system gives a warning when a student does not meet the minimum entry requirement, which is great. But I was wondering, has the team considered adding a similar real-time alert for when a student's cluster points fell below the previous cutoff for a course? At that point, it is not possible. We cannot determine the cluster points. Now, let me give you an example. You may have a course that this year, last year, there was very high demand for it. For whatever reason, the following year, there's less demand. It means the cutoffs are likely to go down. So we cannot give alerts for cutoffs because the cutoffs keep changing, but cluster subjects will definitely give you an alert when you have not done the subject. So many students confuse the minimum requirements with cutoffs, and that misunderstanding is one of the main reasons they end up needing to revise. Thank you very much, JM, because this is why we are having this discussion today, so that we make it very clear whatever is there as cutoffs are just to guide you to see what happened last year. Are self-sponsored students also supposed to apply to Kuccps? The answer is no. For self-sponsored, just walk into the institution of your choice and seek admission. And if must the e-citizen account, and do I not have an ID, then what happens? I think that's, I don't understand that. There's the issue of ID, e-citizen. You don't have to have an e-citizen account to make a payment. You pay through 222, and you don't have to have an ID to make any payments for application. Suppose I'm below cutoff points, then I proceed to do particular course. as self-sponsored. For instance, I didn't meet minimum subject requirements in the portal for education course maths. I have a D plane instead of D+. Will TSC register me once I graduate? Please advise. Now, the requirements are that we have are those that are required by the professional organization. So if you don't meet them and you go and for whatever reason you find your way into an institution as a self-sponsored student, just know that if you didn't meet the minimum requirements from the word go, the professional body will not register you. You will not get registered. So be very careful that you don't try and cut shortcuts. We've seen the same even for nursing, people asking if they can still get there. If somebody helps you get there, just know you'll be on your own at the point of registration by the professional body. Can one choose a course at TVET and another at KMTC for diploma? For example, first choice diploma, mortuary science, second choice analytic chemistry. Now you can choose, you can make choices within the different products. TVET is independent, KMTC is independent. You can make the choices. You can have the choices both. You can make your choices in TVET and KMTC, but like I said, these are separate products. During transfer, can you also change the course that you had selected as your first option? Yes, as long as you meet the minimum, you can make, and you meet the cutoff during transfer, you can always make that transfers. Hello, placement. Could you please explain why it seems difficult for students with grade B- to be placed in KMTC programs, while those with lower grades often have a higher chance of placement? This is very true. A student with a B- has more options. So the criteria for KMTC is very different, especially for competitive programs. One, we ensure that we have students represented in every constituency. So we ensure there's sharing of those nursing opportunities in every constituency. Secondly, we look at those who have a C. If the minimum is a C, the person with a C has less chances and choices for programs than that one who has a B-. A B- has options at both degree and diploma. So it is true our criteria for KMTC is different. We give opportunity to all constituencies first. So if in your constituency there are people who have Cs, you may find they get a chance and you have opportunities in other areas than they do. So we give priority to those with less opportunities. In my interest is Bachelor of Science, Ecotourism, Hotel and Institution Management with IT. My first course of interest, unfortunately, it only offers in one university. The other related university offering with similar courses, Tom Mboya, but without IT. Now, being that option one requires 3 universities, how do I handle this? 1A and 1B and 1C. You can write the same program as 1A, 1B, and 1C. There's no harm to that. And with IT, this statement of with IT is more of a marketing strategy. The main or the base program is the ecotourism and institution management. So it doesn't matter even if you do it in a different institution without IT, you will not say that you have missed the main or the gist of the program. That is just an added advantage for marketing purposes. So, but you can still write the same program as 1A, 1B, and 1C in your first choice if that is really what you want to pursue. I think that has been repeated. Evans Munyane, I'm asking, I made a mistake when I was submitting my application form. That I submitted twice. Is there any problem? So give us your index number and your payment code and your year of exam so that we can look and see whether there's actually a problem there. Bachelor, I think. Hello, what if I make choices in degree but apparently apply for the same course in different universities across all the 6 laws? Will I get placed? The answer is yes, you can get placed if you know competitively you in a position to get than the others who have applied, but there is no harm applying the same program in all the 6. What you have done is just limited your choices and not spreading your risks. We have done the payment through the pay bill to get M-Pesa reference, but keeps on giving an error. Please, when making your pay, you're completing the process, use the eCitizen, not the pay bill or the M-Pesa reference. M-Pesa reference will not complete your application. Use the eCitizen reference number. Why is it that when you apply for private universities only on TVET or TVET courses, only Kuccps may not place you? Why is it that when you apply for private universities only or TVET courses, only Kuccps might not place you? This is not the case. We place in private universities, we place in over 400 TVET institutions. There is no, I do not understand why you say you will not be pleased. Again, if you have an issue, if it has happened to you, give us information, more information, we get back to you on the same. Can I do an interfaculty transfer into a more competitive course in medicine, but as a self-sponsored students, if you meet the minimum? Now that cannot be a transfer. As the moment you mention self-sponsored, that is a private application and you cannot do a transfer. So inter-faculty transfer is if you have been placed as government sponsored and you are transferring to another program that is government sponsored as a government sponsored student, having met the minimum cutoffs for that program. Do they have consideration for gender for particular courses? Yes, we have an affirmative action if we see a program that has not filled or does not have any one of the gender. We have an affirmative action where we get the missing gender. Students who have applied for that program and there's a missing gender, we have the policy allows us to consider 2 grades, 2 points lower. But I can say in many cases, this does not happen because we have equal distribution of students within the programs. With the new funding model still being implemented, like I said, on funding issues, we leave that for the CEO help, who will join us in the next webinar. I now have a B and have met all the minimum for nursing, but I'm wondering whether whether it will be wise to put it as choice 1, considering the number of would-be applicants in nursing. I said there is no harm if you can put it as your first choice. Again, it all depends on how many people apply. But my word of advice is look at what other programs, if you do not do nursing, what else would give you satisfaction? Then you put that as your choice 2 or choice 3. When is the next webinar? This is insightful. We will be having this. We will plan for this more and more. Like I said, in the next one, we will have the help CEO. But when we open for our second revision, we'll also be able to have another one just to guide students as they go through their revision, the first revision exercise. At the point of transfer, when we open the system for transfer, we will again engage so that we allow students to get more information directly. Can one pursue 2 courses in the university? We can only place you for one. The other one that you choose to pursue, you would need to do that as a self-sponsored student. But yes, it is possible as long as you check on your timetable. You can take one and go to the other, maybe like Open University, and combine the two. We also have students who combine the degree and professional courses like ACCA for those who are doing accounting programs. You can do the programs and you can do a degree and also combine with a diploma from for supply chain management, or any other professional course. Is this the last application window, or another application window will open for September intake? This is not the last one. Like I said, we will now have 2 more revision exercises. This was just the application part. Then we'll have the first revision and second revision. What if somebody doesn't get placed according to your first option? Will you be placed in the other options you indicated? And is there a possibility that you won't get placed? And if so, will I be placed in something totally different? Now, if you don't get your first choice, chances are we can place you in your second, your third, and your fourth choice. At the end of the application, we ask you, in the event you do not get placed, are you willing to be placed in any other program? If you say no, then you may find yourself without a placement. But if you say yes, we try and match your choices with an available program that has not filled, and we can place you. At that point, you still have an opportunity to do a transfer when we open the system for transfer. So at the end of the day, engaging with us more and more will help you settle finally into a program that you'll be comfortable with. Is it true that if you apply only in private university schools, might not place you? That is not a fact. Can you please repeat about doing a course even when you are below the cutoff? I said if you're below the cutoff, you can do the course if you meet the subject requirements, but you will be a self-sponsored student. So you walk in straight to the institution and you ask for admission. If they have the place, they will admit you. Cutoffs are just for the competitive process that ensures that scholarships are offered on merit. My interest is in Bachelor of Commerce, but I'm being advised that education is better. EM, my question to you is, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a teacher? Do you want to be in the finance and commerce area? It is about you. We do not have good or bad courses. I keep saying it is what you do with your certificates when you qualify. So when is the next web? I think if you paid through M-Pesa, do you pay again through eCitizen? The answer is you shouldn't have paid. You pay through eCitizen, not. I think we'll get more guidance on the payment, but all payments now are through eCitizen, not M-Pesa. Is it by order? Is it by order in which you submitted your applications? Are you considered for your selection costs? E.g., if you don't get selected for choice 1, then you're considered for choice 2, then 3. Yes, that is the way the system works. We do not handle this manually. it automatically takes you to the next up to all your choices. We have said we will not have an extension after 30th. What we'll have is the simulation, then open the system after a week or the first revision. It's Ibrahim. I was asking if there is an automatic difference for a student who has not presented himself in the institution where he was placed. Or automatic deferment. Sorry, the thing is, it is not automatic. You need to write to the institution, you need to explain to them why you are deferring and when you hope to take up the place. Otherwise, that place is given to somebody else, and you may have challenges reporting back. So if you get placed and you, for whatever reason, you are not able to report, please inform the institution. Inform the institution, and within the 2 years, you can actually go back. But if you just ignore and just appear later, I think it is not. It is also not polite. So just go explain yourself. We do not have automatic deferment. Is it okay if next week, when you invite CEO of these professional bodies? I have burning questions for them. We can do that. Thank you for that idea. And just let us know, especially which ones you want us to start with that have been giving you those burning questions. When are the results for first revision application out? Now, when we close on 30th, in a week's time, we should be able to have run the simulations and open the system for revision. So what we'll do is communicate through messages, the SMSs. You'll also get a message on your portal that you have secured one of your choices, and that will just give you an indication that you do not need to do anything. Just wait until the end of the process. Then finally, we will be able to communicate which program exactly. Once we have finished the whole process, latest June, you'll be able to know which program exactly that you have been placed. But in the next 2 weeks, for those who've already made the application, you will have a message telling you either you have secured or you need to make your revision. Is it? Okay. Many students out here have not applied due to lack of 1,500. DM, this is a question from somebody. DM, I want to tell you that many students have applied. We have over 70% of the students who have made their applications. And I know the question of 1,500 keeps coming up. That is not a decision that we can make as management because it is a policy and it is also in the law about the fee. However, I keep saying, if I went and looked for a kibarua, the minimum pay for a kibarua in Kenya today is 500 a day. So you only need to do a kibarua for 3 days and you have your money for application. Now, from the time one did their KCSE, that was in November 2024, up to now, there are more than 3 days to enable one to actually get. So where there is a will, I say there is a way. So how do I change my career course application if I'm not satisfied with my first choice? We will open the system for transfer and changes of your choices. Is it better to accept or refuse to be placed in another course? Well, it's all about your choices. You can be placed, take it, or you leave it, but choices have consequences. A suggestion, maybe in future, can you work with the institutions more so that The colleges concerning admission letters, they should just be downloadable in the Kuccps portal. Some college need physical visits for one to get admission letters, and that is tiring. That's good advice. It's something that we can look at and see how we can work better with them to ensure that you get your admission letters online. Is it true that you might miss placement entirely if you placed a course that you don't meet the cutoff but do not meet the minimum subject requirements? Say, I place it as choice 4, even if you meet both cutoff and subject requirements for the rest of the courses. Now, we only place you in those 4 that you, the 4 choices that you make. That is why we have an option for revision so that you change. Now, the other thing I said, at the point of checking out when you're making your application, if you give us permission to place you to any other program that you may have met the minimum, we can place you. But if you say no, the answer is you can easily miss out totally because of that decision that you make, and because we will not give you what you do not want, or we will not place you when you don't give us permission to do that, in case you miss any of your 4. Do you qualify for government scholarship as a self-sponsored student? The answer is no. The two don't go together. You're either government sponsored or self-sponsored, and you have to apply. I applied and didn't receive the confirmation message from Kuccps stating that my application has been received, yet it's active in the portal. Please, is it okay? If it is active in the portal, it is okay. Check the number that you gave us, or if your phone was off and the message came automatically and you missed it. But if the portal shows it is active and your application has been submitted, then you're okay. When should I visit the institution if I want to be self-sponsored? In most cases, institutions open for their programs in September, so you need to go there before September to secure admission as a self-sponsored student. Because going in September, walking in September may be too late. For programs that are competitive, you just log into that institution and check when they open for applications. Some are ongoing as we speak. How many career choices is being offered? I think Professor Oluoch, you can respond to that, and the others that are on. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO. About how many career choices are being offered for degrees alone, we have close to 2,100 different degree programs across the 69 universities where we are placing students. So if you want to know, you can search per program or you can search per university. You just get to an institution and then it will tell you all the programs that it offers. So in total, that is about the number. For diploma programs in TVET institutions, we also have quite a number of programs at various levels. Level 6, which used to be called diploma. Level 5, which used to be called artisan craft or certificate. And level 4, which used to be called artisan. There are a whole lot of them. Do you qualify for? I think that has been raised by the CEO. Hello, I didn't complete my application because I waited for the message from eCitizen. Kindly, what can I do? If you have not received the message from the eCitizen, please get in touch with us and give us your details in full so that we can see how to assist. If I have missed my option 1, will I be considered to other university, and yet there are other students who have applied to that university as option 1, yet they have lower grade than mine? If you miss your option 1, it goes to option 2, option 3, option 4, until you are placed in any of the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 choices that you made. And if at the end of the application period, you will get notification if you have been provisionally placed, then you know that you have secured placement in one of the choices that you made. If you will not have been placed, again, at the end of the process, you will get notification inviting you to get to revise. That is to choose another institution and other programs. How should I retrieve my receipt from eCitizen website so that I can proceed with changing my career course application before placement? Changing means revising the course. Once you have the payment details that you used, even now you can still revise your courses before we close on 30th. You just need that transaction that you received when you are making your initial placement, initial application for placement. I wanted to apply for biochemistry. I meet the cutoffs. Then, as for subject requirement, biology and chemistry, I meet, but mathematics, I had a C- instead of the required. Well, if you choose any program, you will get notification if you meet the minimum requirement for that program. As a matter of fact, when your application goes through, it means you meet all the minimum requirements for that program. If you don't meet the subject or any requirement for the program, at the time that you have selected it, you will get to read that you don't meet the minimum requirements for that program, and then you can choose a different one. I have been trying to log into the students portal, but the portal has been telling me server error 500. What should I do? You can refresh, you can change the equipment that you're using. You can log out, log off completely, and then start afresh. You also need to be sure that you have sufficient internet where you are, and you can seek for assistance in the nearest Huduma center, but you should be able to go through.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. It looks like we have exhausted all, and I want to, it's also an hour now. This was supposed to take us for 1 hour. I want to really thank you, staff, and 279 Kenyans who are logged in. And we look forward to another engagement as soon as possible. Thank you. And good day.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, CEO, for very, very insightful responses and very eloquently put out. And we hope to do this again another time, as the CEO has already indicated. Thank you.